Okay, let's get going. Okay, so then I'm going to greet everybody, and then you can introduce us.
Cool, happiness.
Okay, welcome everybody to our webinar today. We're going to talk about practical ChatGPT automations to help you with your marketing. Everybody knows about ChatGPT these days, and we have spent quite a lot of time to try and figure out what is valuable and what is hype. And this session is to show you what is not hype and how it can be used in your marketing. The session will be about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. We're going to do Q&A at the end. If you like something, you can just click on the little emoji on the side. So like a little, emoji on over there. We will record the session. And if you have a question, just type it into the text box. We'll answer it at the end of each section, and then they will read them out. So that is how we're going to start. Okay, over to you. Oh, just in terms of the agenda. So we're going to talk about why care about ChatGPT and N8N, like what is the fuss about. Then we're going to do 3 case studies. We're going to do a content nurturing workflow. So, how do you use content for nurturing? Then we're going to talk about how to reactivate cold CRM leads. Then we're going to talk about sales enablement. And then we're going to talk about how to launch your first workflow. And then there's going to be some Q&A stuff at the end. So it's going to be quite interactive. I'm going to stop sharing and then open up N8N and ChatGPT and show you some of the stuff, what it looks like on the inside. Over to you, Danae.
Cool. And today we've got Carmen, that is our Vice President of Business Development based in Halifax. And as you can see, she's got quite the experience across B2B, B2C, with over 18 years of digital experience. Classic ex-Investec, so really holds up to the experience, even with an MBA. I know you don't want me to mention it, but yes. So Carmen will be taking us through, why we should care about the automations and what it means for us as marketers.
Thanks, Dana.
And then we have Ferdi, MD of NightJarr, also part of the wallpaper with 19 years of experience. And then I think what's really prominent here is the business management course or BCom in computer science, and then also quite a lot of dabbling in AI courses. So he's very curious, likes to play around. So he's your go-to guy. He's going to be showing us all the case studies today. Fabulous. Over to you, Carmen.
Perfect. So first slide. So ChatGPT and N8N. So I think, So this slide basically shows us the adoption curve of ChatGPT, and everybody, it's not news to anybody. It is an extremely quick adoption because of the utility that it serves. So it's an incredible tool. People see the usage. You can see the usage. People see the value. However, to get something of real quality out of ChatGPT, it does take quite a bit of time. It's all about, crafting the brief to ChatGPT as expertly as possible. Otherwise, it's a garbage in, garbage out situation, which I'm sure we've all kind of seen. So it's really about putting in quite a lot of time to get a lot of value out of ChatGPT. Now, the trick between ChatGPT and N8N, if you go to the next slide, Danae, is that what N8N is, it's essentially one of many tools, but it's the one we're going to show you guys today, that stitches different technologies together. So this is a problem that we face as marketers today. I think every brand has a different tech stack. So we've got CRMs, we've got email systems, the Google stack with analytics and ads, but then we've also got, some of us are working with like Adobe Analytics, and numerous tools that we need to stitch together in order to get the best output we can to make decisions in business. So to really use ChatGPT to its biggest potential means that we have to take this proliferated data and feed it into ChatGPT to make proper business decisions. And to do this takes time. I think there's a lot of inefficiencies because these things don't integrate properly. It obviously wastes a lot of our time, and that means that there's a lot of missed opportunities and missed insights from a marketing perspective. So I think in a perfect world, we'd love to have all of this stuff stitched together so that we could feed it into GPT to get the insights out that we need really well. So if we go to the next slide. So this is exactly what this webinar is about, essentially. So ChatGPT meeting N8N. So ChatGPT is the insight generator, which, as I said, even though it's phenomenal and does the output piece very quickly, much more quickly than a human would be able to, the input piece is what takes time if you really want something of value, like telling you how to best spend your marketing for more incrementality, that kind of thing. N8N is one of the many solutions that can be used to stitch technology together and basically integrate systems so that it would take that manual feed of all the data points out of your role, and you could concentrate on things like strategy, creativity, the things that are actually fun, as opposed to becoming like a data input person. So together these things can form like a really cool closed loop from idea to implementation, which is what is important here. And I think, so Ferdy's going to take you through some really interesting case studies. The first one is very fundamental. So the first one is not sexy in any way, shape, or form. The others, the next two, are really phenomenal case studies. But the first one is fundamental and just an example of automation has been around for a long time. We have been using it, and it's something that's still very important and fundamental to make your marketing make sense.
Okay, so just before I get into the case studies, I want to just anchor this in terms of marketing and strategy. So it is like 50% technical, 50% like normal marketing people speak. So I'm using a funnel just to reference the different case studies and where they fit in. So the way we like looking at a funnel is you enter in here at the bottom, there's the awareness phase, there's the research phase, there's the engagement, and there's the lead. So we've got 3 case studies where we're going to talk about the awareness level, and then we're going to talk about engagement and actually the lead phase. So one of the key things in terms of these systems is the data is quite sensitive, and we're working with personal identifiable information. So we're working with these current clients at the moment, but what I did was I took all the automations that we've gone live with and replicated into our systems with dummy data so that we can actually show you what it looks like behind the scenes. So the first case study is a super fundamental one. So it's basically content nurturing. So this is one of the key questions that I've heard many of our clients talk about, is like people download stuff and then like nothing happens. So it's like we as marketers spend an incredible amount of time to come up with content, but then we don't really do anything with it, or we don't nurture people after this. So this sits at this awareness stage. This is usually when you distribute content, or you have a blog, or like there's something that you share. So this could be, for example, if you're running a campaign in LinkedIn, you can load a piece of content, you can put it behind a little form, so you can capture people's details, or it could be just on your website. So this could be anywhere that you are capturing lead data. And one of the great things about N8N is you can quite quickly gather the information that was submitted in the form, and then you can choose where it goes automatically, and you don't need to involve a developer or your IT team to go and build this. So you can then send this lead information and actually create a lead in your CRM system. So we've just used Zoho here. You could use HubSpot or Marketo or Microsoft Dynamics. And then the second thing that you can also do is you can subscribe it to a mailing list. So if you have a newsletter or mailing list, you can quite quickly put it in there, and that will then this lead would feed into this nurturing or drip campaigns or newsletter or whatever you're doing. So this is it just gives you the logic to very easily and quickly send contact details into these specific systems. Again, it's super simple. I'm not gonna demo this one. It's fundamental. So if you're not doing this already, or your IT team is doing this, hopefully your IT team has done this for you. But this is a really good place to start. Is just grab the stuff that you have and start using it. The second one is, I think, is way more interesting. So the second one is nurturing cold CRM leads. So everybody's budgets are stretched, and if you have a CRM system, if you don't have a CRM system, you do need to get a CRM system or somewhere where you can save your prospect data. But anything that's gone cold is there. If you're producing content again, this is a great way that you can actually distribute it. So this sits in the engagement section here under emails and webinars and things that you do. And I'm going to give you an example. So there's a piece of content that we developed a while ago. So there's 5 steps to improve your brand visibility in ChatGPT. So this is everybody, or most marketers usually have a piece of content that's quite valuable in terms of their industry. So one of the ways that you can use this is if you have a CRM system, the data, if it is segmented, so you could segment your CRM data into clients, to prospects, into people that are not prospects, etc. So you can then target these specific segments individually in Zoho CRM. So it then brings up the list. The tricky part is how do you actually then contact them? Because these people are too valuable to use like MailChimp to email them, just a generic email, but they are too many to sort of send very personalized emails. So one of the ways that you can contact them is using an N8N workflow. So this is one of the workflows that we've built. So for example, what it does here is there's a little form that's going to pop up. I'll show you the example now. Then it's going to get all the CRM data. It's going to select the ones that we want to contact. And then this is where ChatGPT comes into this whole process, is we're going to draft a basic response to this person. And then it is going to basically create a draft email in my draft mailbox. So the key thing about these processes and these automations is it doesn't replace a human, because you still need the personal touch, you need quality control, and just let the machine go is quite dangerous, frankly, because you're dealing with really important relationships. So let me execute this workflow. So I'm going to click execute here. It's going to load up a little form here. So this is the form that it is asking me what would I like to do. So it's asking me which CRM people do we want to connect to. I would then go and select. So I've built a little demo section here. So there's 2 people on the list. What do I want to share? I would like to share. Let me just get that. Okay. So we have a new SEO for ChatGPT guide available. I wouldn't use that long term, because that's not, people don't speak in the way. We have a new guide that's called 7 ways to improve your brand visibility in ChatGPT. So it needs to be something more conversational. And then what I would do, I was cut and paste the URL to the resource. What's the tone I want to use? I want to be professional. And what is the subject line I want to do? I'm going to go SEO for ChatGPT. So I'm going to click submit now. And what it's going to, once I click submit, it's going to start going through this process. And you can see like how these things are stitched together. So I'm going to go submit. And you can see now it's pulled all the entries out of our CRM system. Now it's just kept 2 of them. And now it's drafting the basic responses for, to email them. Now it's loading all the previous emails. And now what's happened is it's placed these responses in my draft mailbox. So if I go to mail and I go to drafts, you will see here that it loads the last. So this email is sent to Michelle, like an internal person, and it loads the last correspondence, and then it generates an email to her. Says, hope things are well with the family. And you is here. So this part is you can customize that. You can type in what you want to do there. You know, good luck with the proofreading project or whatever. So you can customize that part. And then this part is generated by the systems. So you can also tweak this, but it removes the manual work from you. So you can then focus on just, you know, sending something personal to the recipient. So for example, here's one. So I've also put Carmen in. So there you go. So Carmen also receives an email. So that's what it looks like. So you still need to customize it. Sometimes it needs a little bit of formatting, but it automates 90% of the work for you. So you can then focus on you know, connecting. So this is, and then you can just send the email. So again, it doesn't replace humans. It helps with that process. Now, one of the key and interesting things about this whole process is the emails are written by an assistant inside ChatGPT. So there's a chat. It connects to ChatGPT. Sorry, this is going to get a little bit technical now. It connects to an assistant that has been trained in the way that I write emails. So I'll show the details to this a little bit later. And then this is the instruction. You know, when you do prompting inside ChatGPT, this is what it looks like. So, but you use logic. You don't need to understand code. Just do this.
What is so, if I may, Freddie, what is so incredible about this is you can see the immense amount of work going into kind of putting this together up front. But then once it's done, and you can write emails by segment to people that are like no longer, you know, that are no longer clients, that have finished a project, that are prospective clients. I mean, really, like, the world is your oyster, and it takes away all of that work in the beginning, which will save hours and hours, which I think is so incredible.
Yeah. So just going back to like what we've seen in terms of using this is if we take the two approaches, because we've tried this account-based marketing and reactivating cold contacts for a while. You can do it manually, but the problem is it's so brain-numbingly boring, frankly, that, you know, nobody does it. So we estimated that it takes about 4 minutes to write an email and to get the email address and stuff. So if we have 100 in our database, it takes about 7 hours of grueling work to go and send out emails. And what happens is the personalization actually gets neglected. So what then happens is the delivery and the execution just falls apart. Like, we just don't do it. So what this new approach does is it forces us to segment our data better. So you have to have good data to do this stuff. The personalization is more time to do it, because the manual work of clicking create new email, finding the person's email address, then cut and pasting the link in, that's done now. So the time spent on it is just to connect to, you know, and to personalize it. And then what happens is that the actual projects gets delivered. Like, we then actually go through all of them and email them, and, you know, some of them reply and some of them don't reply. But this has worked quite well. So that's the first one. Any questions?
We don't have anything in the comments yet, but because we're going to move on to case study 3, if anyone does have any questions.
Okay. All right, let's do case study number 3. So I'm going to go, so this is a way more advanced one. So this is sales enablement. So one of the tricky things in marketing is we generate leads, and then sometimes the leads aren't serviced well. I mean, sales comes back to us, or the MD goes back and says, the marketing isn't working, sales aren't closing, what's happening? Something's breaking. And And this is one of the things that can automate and speed up, again, the manual process for the sales aspect of all it. So this sits under the section when somebody has reached out to us. Okay, so when you receive a lead. So there's a fancy word in the industry called a BDR, so it's a business development rep. So this is basically a salesperson that does a couple of things. The first thing that they usually do is they qualify the lead, and they respond to the leads. So this is a person that usually does this. And what we've done is to build an automation that does a lot of this BDR's work. So this specific automation, let me just show this one to you. So this automation is built around, there's a lead form. So we've built, so we use Webflow, but this can connect to any form. There's a lead form on our website. So if somebody goes and they fill this in, we capture their details. So I made up some fictitious data. So the name of the person is Romeo. That's the email address that they have. This is the text. This is what they sent through. Hi, my name is Romeo, digital marketing manager, Momentum Insure. We need to help with generating more leads. We're thinking Google ads, meta ads, right? So this is the inquiry. This could be any generic inquiry. If it's an insurance inquiry, or if you're selling software, everybody receives inquiries. Well, hopefully you receive inquiries. So that's the first step. The second step usually is the form generates an email and sends it to a salesperson. And then the salesperson contacts the person or don't contact the person. And this is a process to speed up this that aspect. And what we've done here is I'm gonna run it quickly. Is it takes that lead information. It then identifies the company where the email came from. It collects. It goes and it gets the website of the person that just sent this inquiry, all the code from the homepage. It just chooses the specific website copy that we want to look at, and then it writes a summary of the company. So that's the first section here. So a business development rep doesn't need to do that, because I remember the first time when we receive an inquiry in, we go and Google the company name, because who's actually contacted this, and this does it all automatically. So in this instance, that is the company. It's momentum.co.za, and what goes through this process, at the end of it, it spits out, it says, Momentum is a South African financial service company offering medical aid, life insurance, etc. So that's the output. So it saved just that portion. I know it only takes 30, 40, 50 seconds, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes from a business development rep, but it's now automated. It's gone. We don't need to worry about it again. Then the really interesting part is we qualify the lead as well. So is there a match between what this person wants and what we sell? Okay. And the way, so there's a little bit of logic here. So the way we did this is we connect to ChatGPT. Okay. And we built a specific assistant. That's the word that's being used. We built a NightJarr business development rep assistant. Because ChatGPT is frankly stupid. It's brilliant, but it's also stupid. It's almost like having an intern just start in the business. Very smart, lots of potential, but doesn't know anything. So we need to go and train that. So what we did was we set up an account on ChatGPT. So, but the API side. So this is the backend. This isn't what customers are using. This is what developers are using. So this is the API. This is how you connect to ChatGPT. I'll show you how to do this a little bit later. And what we have here is all the assistance that's available. So we built a NightJarr business development, a BDR assistant. And what this is we've basically trained a assistant on everything that NightJarr does, and who we sell to, and the pricing. What do we do? We're like, the services we offer, the type of clients we like working with, who we don't like working with, etc. This would be unique for your business. So if you are in the business of selling dental insurance, then you need to train this thing that you only sell dental insurance. If you're in the business of selling printers, then you need to train this thing. So, and the training is literally just this long piece of text and information that you need to give it about the background, the services, etc. So this can be quite long, but once you've done it once, it's done. So it's basically like training an intern. Like you give it intern a document and they read through it and then they go, okay, now I have some idea of what the business does. So what happens then is once we've run this, we then ask ChatGPT to match what they are looking for, the lead that just contacted us, and what NightJarr does. And this is the prompt for this. So here we are giving it the details. There we give it the company background that we just did in the previous step. And then we ask it, what does the sender company need help with? And considering the services solutions of NightJarr, do you think there's a good service match? Okay. And then what happens is we create a draft mail in my mailbox. So this could be your salesperson's mailbox again. So you create this draft email in the mailbox. And what it's going to look like now, hopefully it's there, because things doesn't always go according to plan when it's demoed, but there it's arrived. Okay, so this email now sits in my draft folder. So here you can see there's the inquiry details. So there's Romeo's details, email, telephone number, detail, and the comments from the form as well. This is very standard. If you receive emails from your website, this is just the form fields that's been replicated. This is very easy. Now the interesting thing comes in. This is where the automation response comes in. So now we're talking about qualification criteria. Now it says Momentum needs help generating more leads through Google Ads, Meta Ads. And then is it qualified? Yes. NightJarr does Google Ads and Meta Ads management. So we go, okay, there's a match. It's worthwhile contacting. And then furthermore, what the system then does, it actually suggests the email response. So then you can go, hi, Romeo, thank you for submitting the lead. And then we ask Romeo some questions. Tell us a little bit more about how you see us working with you. What is your budget? What are your timelines? So in terms of the business development rep that gets this email, they go, I know what the background is to the company. I know that they fit our services. So what I can do now is I can just go and cut and paste the email. You can automate that as well, but I haven't. And you just remove that, and then you send this email to Romeo. And you put a headline in, and there you go. It's like, it's done. So the business development rep can actually do the work that they're supposed to do and have lunches and coffees with people instead of servicing inbound inquiries. Okay. Back to so yeah, sorry, somebody.
No, sorry, Fadi, and everyone on the call. See, everyone's been added as viewers, so they weren't able to make comments. So please feel, yeah. So we're adding as contributors now, so that you can add questions. But if you do also just want to put your hand up, please feel free to.
Yeah, should I stop presenting and just
I think
space for questions?
do that. Yes, please.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Okay. Yes, we've got one from Justine. So she wants to know what the cost is of the N8N tool.
That is a really good question. Let me share my screen with you. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive. I think the right answer is it is very affordable for what you get with it. So it costs about 24 euros per month. That's the starter. So then you get one shared space, and then you can build like many workflows, and you get quite a lot of workflow execution. So it's not the technology isn't that expensive. And then in terms of ChatGPT, you pay for tokens. So that gets very complicated, but it's not super expensive to do that part. The tricky part is not the cost. The tricky part is stitching all the stuff together and understanding what you can solve. So the reason for this specific webinar is to go, this is what you can do with it. That's the idea of this webinar. Because we were like, AI, like we don't know what to do with it. It's amazing, everybody's talking about it, and then we're like, okay, what do we do with it now? It needs to be obviously part of a process or something. And that's where we started playing with this, and this is some of the solutions we found. We've done other stuff as well, but like this is what we found. Any other questions?
Yeah, Freddie, we've got one from Amy. So she wanted to know if you're able to create a sort of chatbot or automatic reply to comments on social media platforms.
So there is a chat interface that you can remember, like ChatGPT is a model, and the chat is just the interface to the model. And we've now used a different N8N interface to the model. So there is a chat interface to N8N. Yes, there is one. Can you publish it on a website? We haven't done that yet. We haven't done it, but there are many solution providers that you can put a chatbot on your website. So I don't think you have to go through this incredibly complicated process to put a chatbot on your website. Cool. Any other questions?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Okay, let's do the next stuff. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let's continue. I want to show you how to build a basic, your own basic one, and how to play around with it. So the first thing to do is go to this website, this n8n.io website, and just click get started, and you can sign up for, I think there is a free trial. There you go. So just sign up for a free trial. And then what happens is you're going to be met with this interface here. It's going to look more or less like this, and all your workflows are listed, here. And what you then need to do is you need to start playing. The best way I found to learn about this is just to play with it and play within the systems that you have. So for example, if you want to connect two different things, then search for those two different things. So let's say, for example, you have WordPress. There you go. So I found WordPress there. And so in WordPress, there are these actions that you can take. Or for example, I would go and let's say we go Webflow. Actually, let's do what's the lead? Yeah, Dynamics. We can look at Dynamics. So in Dynamics, you can create accounts, you can add accounts. Let's do MailChimp. MailChimp is always a favorite. MailChimp. So in MailChimp, there's lots that you can do. So you can go and create members. So you can go and add a subscriber into MailChimp. So let's go and do that. So then you need to go and connect to MailChimp. So the credential stuff gets, you need to use your login details to go into MailChimp. But this is where you basically, this is the function to create a new member. And then you can say, like, what do I want to do then? I would like to send an email. So I then go into Outlook. And I can go and say, create a draft email. I highly recommend not to send emails out of these systems. Like you need to have like a quality control. So then you can create a draft here. So for example, if you have an email that comes into your form, let's say you're using JotForm or Webflow, any one of these form-based systems, you can then go and put them into MailChimp, and then you can go and draft an email to this person as well. So the tricky thing, the thing here to do is to go and play with it and see what it can actually do. Because there's all these apps that you can connect to the system. So there's Google Analytics, you can go and pull reports and events. We've done that before. You can go in and do stuff in Google Ads. So it's a canvas for you to go and play around in. So that's the best way that I recommend that you do it that way. And then the other piece of the other piece of intelligence is how do you pull ChatGPT in. So this is where the API, the OpenAI node comes into play. So you can use your own, you can use Gemini or one of the others. We just like OpenAI. And here you can then go and message a model. So you can actually choose which model do you want to connect to. Do you want to choose the latest one? Do you want to go and choose an older one that's a little bit cheaper? So there's all the different models that you can choose. So there's ChatGPT 5. You can even connect to the images, audio recognition. There's like lots of stuff that you can do here. So that's where the intelligence comes into play. We like to connect to specific assistants because the assistant is the thing that you can pre-train. So this is what I mentioned earlier about the assistants that you can train in the back end. So if you want to sign up for this, let me just show you in a space that's not logged in. So you need to go to openai.com/API. And this is where you then sign up to actually get access to the back end of OpenAI. So you go and you go click on start building, and then it's going to ask you to sign up for an account and give your credit card details. So this is where that happens. But I would recommend not to play around with this yet. I would just see if you can stitch two things together inside ChatGPT, inside N8N.
Ferdy, there's an interesting legal and compliance question.
Yes, go.
Yes. Katiwa is asking, when creating an email in CRM, where is the info sourced from, and how do you safeguard confidentiality of the information? So
it's a great question. So if you are if you are a corporate and data sensitivity is really important, you're going to get fired for it. You can host N8N, the system that I just spoke about, inside your environment. So you can host it. The IT people can host it behind all your security, infrastructure. So that's the safest one. And inside there, you can then give it access to all the data that you have. If you're smaller and more nimble, there's advantages and disadvantages to being both. Is if you're smaller, you just use the credentials that you have available. So N8N uses my details to connect to MailChimp. It uses my Gmail account details. If I want to put an email in Carmen's mailbox, Carmen has to give permission for it. So the current credentials and security that you have in place just is basically the mechanism that you connect these systems together. So we specifically chose, there are other tools out there, there's Zapier and Make.com. We like N8N because we know we can actually install it on a client's server and then run the things in a very safe space. So I hope does that answer your question?
Can I add to the question, because I think there might be more to it. I think she's also asking if it connects into your CRM and you've got information about clients in there. Can these tools see it, and is that confidential?
Well, that's the question for you. Is it confidential? So if you have access to CRM, you can only see the things that you can see, right? But the system, if you can see more, or you can see more than what you're supposed to see in terms of your access right, it can pull all the information. So how the system usually works is it connects to CRM, it pulls all the information that you have access to, and it removes the ones that you don't need, and then continues with the ones that you do need. So
and that information is not stored in N8N's data lake or something where it can become. So it's basically an extension of yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So it's
but also, sorry, wouldn't it also speak to having a paid for ChatGPT account?
Oh yes. Yes.
Like don't use this on free.
No, don't use this on free. If, for example, you're on the Google stack, you're in G Suite or whatever you want to call it these days, Google's business suite, use Gemini rather, because Gemini sits within your data already. So please don't share confidential information into ChatGPT without having a paid account. That's like, don't do that, because it's going to use that data to train its model. So go and get a paid account. It's like, it's costs for the API side, it costs nothing. It's like free to sign up, but then you have to add credits so that you can actually use the API to call ChatGPT. Sorry, Benedette has asked something.
Yeah, so this comes down to consent. The question is, do you have consent from your CRM database clients to have a third-party plugin access to their info? If you don't have consent, don't use plugins or APIs, which you don't have a DPA with.
Yep, that's a good point.
Spot on, yeah.
Okay, so before we go further into Q&A session, half of you are going to go and play with this stuff and come right. Half of you are going to be like, I'm too damn busy and this is too damn complicated to do this. So let me just go. So half of you are just going to be like, no, this is just too much. I'm confused. I don't like this. This is too much. So we do have a special offer. We are willing to set up one free automation for you. So we'll help you to set up an N8N hosted account, a free trial, and then we'll give you 30 minutes of training, and then we'll link 2 systems for you, integrate 2 systems. We usually charge money for this, but we won't. But there's just 3 spots. So Danae, if you can just share the link. So go and sign up and see if you can grab a spot there. And then, but I would recommend you to just go and play, like frankly, like that's, if you need speed, do this. If you are just inquisitive and you want to build stuff, then go and play with it. It's incredible technology. It's like the real first proper AI applications that we're like, this is real. This is like, we think there's something there. No,
it's so cool. And also, no 2 automations look the same. So everybody will have a different use case. Everyone has a different tech stack. And that's what's super unique. Yeah, so that's why it's so important to play, and why you can't do like an off-the-shelf white label solution to everybody. Everybody's is very unique. So yeah, it's actually quite incredible, the technology.
But Carmen, one of the other things that I like about this is like there's a lot of software out there that promises to do everything. Like HubSpot for a while did everything. It's a CMS, it's a CRM system. It's like this, it can make your coffee, etc. But it's like 6 out of 10 in each one of those disciplines. It's not the base system for emails, not the base system CMS. It's not. So what I like about this is you can have the base systems in your class. You can have Xero, you can have Salesforce, you can have Zoho, you can have Google Analytics 4, you can choose the best software in your category and then link them. And I think that is insane. Like, that's really cool. And then the other thing that I also like is you can, it's quite empowering. You don't need to phone IT to go and do something, even though IT may have an heart attack about like compliance and they're going to do this and that. But the point is, you can do stuff on your own. You can actually go and implement things. Cool. Any other questions? So can anybody like speak, or was it like no contribution?
No. So I think they can speak. Sorry, that sounds so random. Is Gerrit still on the call? Gerrit, can you speak? Okay, they're able to make comments.
Yes, we can speak.
Okay,
Yeah.
can speak. Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
See, Andre is even on the call. He's a CRM expert. Hello, Andre. How are you?
Hey, Freddie, how are you?
Yeah, I like to thank you.
Good.
So, Lindsay, I hope you found this interesting, because you've got some incredible content, and now you can see how you can get some more legs from it.
It is very fascinating, but I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, as you might imagine. I'm one of those people you mentioned over your head.
It's okay.
But it is overwhelming. I mean, if you open up any platform and it's unknown, like, I think the normal response is to be overwhelmed.
But then maybe it's also like you have a blank canvas, and that's always intimidating for people. So that's why.
Also true.
Yeah, is to just choose 2 of your apps. So go email and something else, CRM, and just and just connect the two things that you that can do. Yes, Scott, you can run N8N on your laptop if you're a hardcore techie like you. You can do that, yes. I don't do that because I don't have the time for that.
And you have a Dell.
And I have I have a Dell. Sorry, Nadine just made a comment. She said, I love that this brings back email marketing. Nadine, I still think email is the best channel that it's the only channel that nobody owns. Nobody owns email. Like, you know, Meta owns WhatsApp. It's like it's you have to pay a toll fee to do something. Email is the only thing that's really that you can really own. It's sort of not free, but this does bring an extra level of personalization, which I think is fantastic. I have seen a lot of outbound emails using ChatGPT, and they're getting very sophisticated. And I think that window will close in about a month's time because it's so well written, it's so well done. I think you need to have permission from somebody for you to speak with them again. You need to give them something, and then you have the sort of the permission to sort of, you know, email them again. So I think it's amazing if you so some people, it's an amazing cold outbound email thing. I think they're not wrong, but I think you can spam like 100,000 people and then everybody will hate you. Like, you can scale hate very quickly now. It's unbelievable. Like, I just don't recommend to use it for that.
So Freddie, I've got a question directed at me. Hi, Mary. So yeah, I mean, it's a good question, and it would have to be done with trial and error. Her question is, sorry, when you have a highly brand sensitive brand such as Four Seasons, would you trust the output? Does it actually speed things up if you have to review every single output? Look, I think it does. To what was presented earlier, I think it does take a lot of the kind of grunt work out. So it will pre-populate email fields. It will do a lot of like, what is really interesting is it can even look up previous conversations you've had with this individual and reference things, projects that you're working on, that kind of thing. So that I find really useful. And that really does save a lot of time, but it depends on the volume, I suppose. But I would definitely put it into drafts and double check everything. I would be too nervous just to let it run because it could misread something. There could be like a personal joke or something. It could, you know, so, but I do think there is a lot of time saved. Oh, it's Templar.
Yeah, look at that answer place. Huh? All right, I think, let's have a look. Can you show how to preview and edit a draft, but then send it via a burner mailbox? No template. We're not going to show you how to use a burner template. Burner mailbox, sorry. That's naughty. Gerrit, do you already use it for data analytics versus creating content such as emails? So we're using it for emails, but very carefully and very personalized. We have had a pilot with a client where we were monitoring the events on their page. So you can pull a Google Data Analytics a report with the event data, and we've also got the G-Click implemented with them. So we could basically see we could then connect to their CRM and see who was looking at different products on their website. So we have developed a pilot for that, but it didn't go live. But you can use data analytics. So Bernadette, in terms of Everlytic, great question. So most of for normal people like me and the people in this call, the easiest thing is to obviously choose the ones that's available in there. If it's not in there, and Everlytic is not in there because it is a South African email service provider, you can use normal JavaScript to do an API call, a get and a post, but that's beyond the scope of this call. That's where you have to get a backend developer in, and it can then connect to Everlytic to go and pull the information or to put data there. So it is possible. It just then you need a backend developer to just help you with some basic things. Okay. And then S is asked, I have a CRM system that has AI built into it and helps with automation. Happy to show it sometime. Cool. Would like to. That sounds interesting. Any other questions? We need to wrap up. Brooke, I hope you enjoyed this call.
I did very much so. Thank you, Fadi.
Cool. All right, I think that's it. Carmen, anything else from you?
No, I think it was, yeah, super interesting. I love the automations. I think that this is, yeah, we're on the precipice of something big.
Yeah, we don't know what to call it yet. Like, we debating marketing automation was a big thing in HubSpot, like 10 years ago, and now we're calling these things automations, but it's not. And we don't know what to call it yet. We just wanted to show it to everybody. If you did like the session, please go and leave us a review on Google Maps. We've got a new office in Halifax in Canada that needs a little bit of love. So just click on the link that Danae has shared there. We did record the session, so just give us a few days to edit it, and then we'll send it out to everybody. So, but thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone. It was great.